why did you register for the course originally?
When I was looking to get into wellbeing, which was, I suppose, probably over the last sort of 7 or 8 years, it wasn't immediately obvious to me where or which qualification I should look to do to get myself upskilled. To see a credible, recognised level 5 qualification come along from you're being led by somebody like Elliot. I'm going to blow some smoke up your backside now, Elliot. But when Elliot talks at various conferences and when he's been speaking at various events that I've attended, I've always resonated with Elliot's approach and the way that he talks about the realities of what wellbeing actually looks like in our organisations. And I think when this opportunity came along, the stars aligned for me, let's say, just giving people stuff that is more than just, awareness days and initiatives, events, which are all lovely things to be involved with. And they often, give you that warm, fuzzy feeling afterwards because people say, I can't wait for the next one. Brilliant. But what does that actually do and what does it mean for your organisation? It means that you've got events and initiatives that are happening. And then the next week we go back to normal. I identified it beforehand that it would give me those skills to be more strategic. The clue's in the name, leading strategic workplace wellbeing. It's getting a strategy around how you can influence within your organisation, recognising the challenges that organisations face in the real world, and giving you evidence-based learning that's going to help you to use the data that you have and use some data that you probably don't have already that you can gather to actually prove out this impact on things like productivity, recruitment, and retention. So when I saw the opportunity come along, I couldn't turn it down.
And what was kind of your biggest takeaway from there?
Structure was really good. As you say, you've got the first session in London. You'll get together, and it's a great opportunity to meet people, do a bit of self-reflection on where you are at the time. And Elliot will use his workplace wellbeing profession map to kind of help you to do that, and which is it's an interesting process because I think a lot of us who work in this every day, we kind of think, well, I know quite a bit already, but actually for me it was quite revealing about lots of my shortcomings in this space and what I would really like to focus on learning more. So having that opportunity to do that right at the start and get to know everybody on the course within that environment is really good. Obviously you get to meet Elliot in person. It's like bring your autograph book, that sort of thing. It's really nice that day, and then you kind of come away from there. You had a couple of weeks to reflect, maybe 2-3 weeks to reflect. Then you're on to the next stage of your learning, which is the online sessions. And what Elliot said there about not just listening to Elliot learning, you get to learn from other people. You're in constant breakout rooms. You're hearing what's going on in different organisations. You're kind of brainstorming on the job. And you're taking little bits from everything that you're learning into your day job, because this is about real life. And if it's not about real life, what's the point in doing it? I took so much from, those, not just the, listening to Elliot, but also learning from others and hearing what other people are doing, how they're approaching it. And not just wellbeing leads as well, a real scope of a real different kind of feel to the group in terms of we had people in health and safety there. We had people from all different types of roles, from HR roles as well. So, different perspectives on wellbeing, not just about, this is my life at work. This is what I want to learn more about with the potential to go into it. So even if you're not working in wellbeing, it's a great opportunity to potentially open your eyes to, the great world that I work in. And I personally love coming to work every day, and this has only helped that. So, taking those bits from those learning sessions and then the assignments. And I think the assignments in our group, it was kind of, I think the group were quite apprehensive about the assignments, but really what they give you the opportunity to do is to consider what you've taken from all of these sessions and apply them into, a structured assessment format that is, relatively flexible in terms of you can decide when you do them. And, you've got your textbook, and I'm sure Elliot will make it very clear what that textbook is. And you've referred to it very briefly at the start with your graph from the book. But having the tools to do it. You've got it all. You've got the engagement sessions where Elliot will lead you kind of through, relatively frequent sessions. I think they're monthly tutorial sessions, aren't they, Elliot?
Yeah.
So Elliot will kind of give you those ongoing after the course is finished, so that you can check in and say, I'm just struggling with this bit. Just remind me what I need to be focusing on for this question, and you're not going to be left on your own. And I just think that it's such a supportive, engaging learning environment that it's, I would say, it's quite difficult to fail, although it's not easy. You're going to learn stuff, you're going to use it in your day job, and you'll hopefully become more strategic and learn how to make well-being more of a priority for your organization. And I just think that, there's if you can pick out any downsides from that, I'm all ears.
No, spot on. Thanks so much, Matt. And yeah, obviously one thing I didn't mention as well, obviously you get your workbook, and all the sessions are recorded as well. So if you've got something booked in or you're on holiday, then you're able to watch it back. And Matt shared a bit of a tip that if you don't want to listen to 7 hours of us speaking, you can put it on 1.5 times speed, and it can speed through it a bit quicker. But you let that one slip. You should have kept that one in the WhatsApp group, Matt. And then the final question, I know you've probably touched on it a little bit already, is how do you feel that qualification is going to help you now in kind of your future career and even the wider profession?
I think the main thing really is about, when we talk about well-being in the workplace, giving you the surety that I'll go back a step. Most people get into well-being because they want to make a difference to people. And that primarily starts at an individual level, and then it kind of scales up into, how can I make a living out of this? And a lot of us end up working in, small, medium, large organizations where there's lots of people suddenly, and you realize that you can't reach everybody individually. And so there has to be a different approach. So for me, I work in organizations, support 4,000 people in the UK. It helps. What I've learned is that the topics within the course and the learnings that I've got really give me that opportunity to articulate the value of well-being more clearly, especially with senior stakeholders and the people who own the purse strings and are the decision makers within the organization. And it really gives me that, obviously, the formal professional credibility, but it gives me that confidence that, I'm talking a good game. Because as a wellbeing professional, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, there wasn't necessarily, a Bible or a textbook that we were learning from. It was more about feelings. It was more about, this is the right thing to do by people. But this also makes sense by businesses. That there are, distinct links between everything that you will learn and those 3 performance pathways of productivity, recruitment, and retention. And they're the things that you'll learn, and being able to talk about those in a confident way, knowing that you've got the data to back that up, and you've got a plan about how to strategically approach that within your organization. It's incredibly empowering. And I think I remember saying to you earlier, I feel that you've given us the keys to the kingdom, and we just need to walk through the door now. Unfortunately, there's still a few guards on the door who don't like the wellbeing folk coming in, but I can tell you now, it's that those guards are kind of, I'm detooling them one weapon at a time, let's say. But yeah, as I said, it's hopefully going to really kick my career on. I'm not thinking in terms of leaving here, but I'm thinking in terms of making my role more senior, because wellbeing deserves a place on the board. And it will happen at some stage, I'm sure of it. And I hope that I'm one of those people who do get to kind of scale the heights, because I am ambitious and I want to make inroads in my career, and I want to make a difference to people and organizations at scale. So having the confidence and the skills and the knowledge to do that, it's left me feeling incredibly empowered. But I'm not saying that it's all roses now. Like, it's just because it can be a little bit frustrating having all this kind of this knowledge all of a sudden, and this theory that says, why is no one listening to me? So you've still got to be patient, but for me, it gives you it gives me much better chance to really achieve what I want to achieve in my career, which is great.